Hey, good morning, Choice Residential. Hope your day's off to a fantastic start. Today, I want to talk about when to text versus when to email. Now, there's a lot of nuance to this type of communication, and of course, different generations and age groups have different ways that they utilize this. But think of text messaging as something that warrants a more immediate response, whereas an email is typically not going to be used when you do need that kind of instant, immediate response. And so you want to think about that in terms of the timing of using either text or email. Generally speaking, it's not going to be appropriate to text people late at night, especially if it's not something that is urgent. So if you're just getting a thought out about something that needs to be done the next day, and believe me, I understand needing to get something out of your mind so that you don't forget about it and you can put it to bed. But oftentimes that should be an email, whether that's to another agent or to a client, versus a text message, which implies that you need some kind of immediate response. So at 9 o'clock at night, something that can wait until the next day should be emailed versus texted. Now, of course, there's differences in, again, the age groups and generations that you're texting with. A younger generation may have a much more casual expectation of text messages, whereas an older generation who may still prefer text messaging as a means of communication may have an expectation of a little bit more formality with correct punctuation and capitalization. So be thinking about that as well. Everything you write, whether in a text message or an email, should err on the side of more professional rather than less until you get to understand the relationship of the person you're texting with, at which point it's perfectly fine to use emojis and things like that. But the real point here I want to get across is setting boundaries on how you communicate specifically with text messaging. I see and hear a lot about text messages coming in late at night to agents. And in fact, that happens to me too, where agents may text me late at night with something that doesn't necessarily warrant an immediate response. That's when email should be utilized. And you want to set boundaries with your clients because you don't want to get text messages at 10:30 at night. But if you are sending them or responding to them at 10:30 at night, then you have just trained that person that it's okay to communicate with you in that way at that time. So it's important that you set boundaries and evaluate the urgency of messages that are coming to you and messages that you're sending out, and when you can use text message, which again warrants a more immediate response, versus email as something that the person can get back to you when it's convenient for them. So just make sure you're giving thought to how you communicate and the nuance of that communication, because as hopefully you know, how we communicate is so telling about how we do business and gives the client the impression of our level of professionalism. So if you ever have additional thoughts about that or want to talk through anything, I'm always just a phone call away. Have a great day.